there they are. 10 bones, beautiful baby back ribs. 10 bones, beautiful St. Louis spare ribs. Hey, Mark Lambert here in the Sweet Swine of Mine Distributing Test Kitchen. We're going to show you something that everyone's been asking for, and what they're asking for is capacity. How much will the red box smoker hold? Well, and I tell everybody 2 butts or 6 slabs of ribs. They're like, oh, there's no way, there's no way. Well, there are 6 slabs of ribs right here. Will the whole rib fit on there? No, it's not designed to. It's designed to hold a competition cut, and that is 10 bones. So we're going to cut down 6 slabs of ribs to 10 bones. We've got 4 slabs of Compart and Chairman Reserve spare ribs here, and we've got a couple of Duroc baby back ribs here from a local supplier. All right, this is the red box smoker, and it's got 3 racks in it, firebox in the bottom, water pan that completely separates the cooking chamber from the firebox, except for a hollow wall and an insulated outer wall, but a hollow wall where everything travels around. So we have the firebox here. We have one little addition to the firebox. We've got what we call a kick ash basket that adds a little bit more airflow around. And we're just playing with this, and we found that it works really well for cooking steaks or low and slow burns. It works really well. Typically it just comes like this, but we're running this because it gives us a little bit of airflow for cooking with water. We need a little more BTUs. It's not a problem cooking dry at all. So we're going to run that. Actually, I'm going to set it right here because we're going to dump our char logs. We're running some B&B char logs. And then we're going to put our racks, 6 racks of ribs. We've got 3 of these inside the rib box. It's going to hold 2 10-bone slabs, side by side, 3 high. So we're going to get these trimmed up, and we'll show you what they look like. All right, we got our ribs out. We're going to start off with our baby backs. I'll do one of these, and I'll do one of the spares just so you guys can see it. No rocket science here, y'all. So what I'm going to do is a pretty large slab of ribs. Is that if you've never counted the bones in a slab of ribs for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then there's a little 14th piece. So that's not actually, there's usually 13. So we're looking at center mass, 10 bones. I'm going to pull this one off the end here. And you want to save these, so we're going to fry those up later. So then I'm going to go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and I'm going to pull this guy off right here. And once you get to this end on a baby back, especially on all of them, they curve a little bit. So I tried to cut it as straight as I could. But now we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We've got 11. So I'm going to go back down to just 10 bones. That's all you really need for competition, and that's how we designed this thing. So we have actually on this baby back, that's not really, yeah, I guess it's a rib bone. There's maybe 14. There's 4 bones we took off of this one. We've got a 10-bone slab. This is the better part. If we were going to do competition, this is the better end than these long ends. And we would typically, for competition, if we were doing baby backs, we would trim these down anyway. So as far as the membrane on these, it's real easy just to get your finger here and then just kind of grab and push. And then you should be able to pull all the way through from one side of the slab to the other, not end to end, but side to side, and then just pull. That's all we're going to do. Now, all we're going to do after that, we're not going to do anything else. These are awesome. It's a local supplier. Really nice looking rib. And then we're going to move over to spare rib. This one is a Chairman Reserve, I think. And they're pretty decent looking ribs as well. And we're going to go in here and removing the bones. Let's check and see where we're at on this one. There's a piece here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and a tiny piece of a 13 right there. So we're going to go and cut these guys off right there. And then we're going to cut this little end bone off right here and try to keep it at 10 bones. And let's see what we've got. We've got about the same width right there, y'all. All we have to do is straighten it up. We want to take a little bit of this breastplate off. we're going to go through and trim off this little bit of tip that's on there. We don't need that. That'll smoke and go on our beans or season up something else. A little tough on that end, a little silver skin. We're going to get that off of there. And really there's not much else to do other than remove the membrane off this, y'all. Let's see, I've kind of a little crooked right there on this end. I think I can take that extra little bit off right there. Probably not the best knife, it's just the one I grabbed first. Be better with a little larger knife, have a little more pressure. There we go. And then so on a spare rib, same thing. I'm just going to find a little spot here and I'm going to kind of pull it with the tip of my finger until that membrane gives way right there. And I'm going to do my best to try to keep it intact. Spare rib membranes are a little tighter, attached a little harder than the baby back for some odd reason. And so I'm going to take a little extra care to try to keep it more in one piece if I can. Try to pull my way back a little at a time. Now, a little tip is you can take you a piece of paper towel. It gives you a little bit of grip to grab a hold of it with, so it's not quite as slippery. And then I'll reach in here and try to grab this extra little piece that broke off. Not worried too much about it. I'll get most of it off. Again, these are eating ribs. As long as they're set up to where they're going to be good eating, that's all that we care. There's our 10-bone slab, baby backs, 10-bone slab of spares. I've got a few more to do, and then we're going to season these up. We're going to season our 2 racks with LeBlanc's Guns N' Roses. Really, really good right out of the bottle. Doesn't mean much else. One of my favorite rib rubs also is Sweetness from Rod Gray at Eat Barbecue. And then we're going to use a good old-fashioned standby. I had a bag that busted. We're going to use it. This is a Flavorama No. 5. Really good local seasoning from used to be Flavor Right Laboratories. Now it's Newlywed Foods. Really good standby that a lot of people use. So we got a few of these to trim up, and we're going to get them on the smoker, show you what it looks like. All right, here it is. 2 slabs, pretty large slabs of baby backs on the red box rack. As you can tell, only a tiny bit of extra space on one side, and then 2 slabs of St. Louis spares on the red box rack. And they're going to go in. We're going to go ahead and put them in, and we're going to dump our B&B char logs, and we're going to hook up the Flame Boss 400. We're going to roll these. I'm going to try to roll them right about 275. Try to get them done a little bit early. We're not worried too much about appearance and everything. These are just some good old eating ribs, but I think they're going to turn out wonderful. All right, we got our B&B char logs ready to go. As you can see, they're flaming up the top. I may have let them light a little longer than I should, but I think regardless, for a rib cook, I think we're going to be fine. So we're going to dump these right over into our firebox. Try not to spill any. I think I spilled a little. So something we found using the kick-ash basket, there's not quite enough room, so you probably need to remove the firebox insert. That's what we're going to do right now. We're just going to pull it right out to make sure we have enough room to run the kick-ash basket. Now we should have plenty of room to go in and out with the water pan extending down below the front face. No problem. All right. Make sure those are in there all the way. And we are good to go. We're going to get us a few pieces of wood, and we're going to drop us just a few pieces of wood right in there. No more than 3 small, maybe less than a racquetball size piece. As you can tell, there's not much room in there. So as it burns down, we'll add another little piece. We're going to rotate our racks, guys. This is hotter at the top, naturally, because with a water smoker, the air directly over the water pan is going to be cooler than the air further away. Also, this is reverse flow, so naturally the top rack's going to cook faster. So we're just going to rotate these racks out. After about 45 minutes, we're going to swap top and bottom, then we'll swap middle and top, and so on and so forth until we get a good color. Then we're going to wrap them up. Okay, these ribs have been on right about an hour. The ones on the top are a little bit darker than the rest. I just peeked at them. I'll show you what I mean. They're the ribs on the top rack. And here are the ribs on the bottom rack. You can imagine. So, what we're going to do, y'all, is we're going to rotate these. We're going to take the top to the bottom. I'm going to take the bottom to the top. And what we're going to do is nothing crazy fancy. We're just going to take a little blue bottle spray, and we're just going to hit them on the top and make sure they don't get too dark. Just give them a little squirt just to kind of wet them. Essentially it's a little oil, a little flavored oil is what it is. But it will keep it from getting too dark and prematurely caramelizing all of this bark on the top of this. So we're going to give them all a little spray, and we're going to give them another hour off to the rotate. And then we'll show you what they look like in that next hour when we go from middle to top as well. So see what it looks like in a minute. All right, got a little hot in here, so we changed shirts. But I think they're ready. It's like 2 hours and 50 minutes, and the color looks pretty darn good. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Color looks good. There's our spare ribs. Got a pretty color on them. That's what we're looking for, y'all. Not worry too much about how long does it take. It's till the color's right. This is when you wrap them. Baby backs, man, them jokers are ready. And we only rotated once. That's all it took. Top and bottom one time after an hour. So, time to wrap them up. All right, it's wrap time. Simple process. A little butter, or what hails is butter. Baby backs first. You're gonna put them each side down. We're gonna put a little bit of brown sugar. This is dark. Use whatever you got. A little bit of Sweet Swine of Mine original. Just a little bit. And then we're gonna wrap them up. The way I like to do it is go over. I like to come back. And I like to fold the edges in. Makes them easy to open up and peek at. So one more time. Butter. Ribs. Brown sugar. Barbecue sauce. And mine is not too sweet. It's kind of a good balance of sweet and vinegar. That's why it works good in the wrap. Whenever I put it on the outside, I usually sweeten it up just a touch, or use my Lambert combo sauce. We're going to wrap these up. We're going to put them back on in the original order that they were on the smoker. I'm going to show you how to tell when these ribs are done. These are the baby backs. I've checked all of them so far. The baby backs and the ribs that were left on the top are done. So the way you can tell, check this out, y'all. We've got some pullback. You can tell pullback right here. The bones have pulled back, and also what you can tell is that even though the membrane is pulled, you can start to see a bone show through here. You got a bone in the middle here, you got a couple of bones on this end, and these bones are starting to pop through. That tells you that they're really tender, super tender. We're about the 4-hour mark, I think. What's our time, Misty? So no, we're right at 4 hours and 50 minutes right now. So these probably are a hair over, actually. But what we're gonna do is we've got us a pan of Lambert combo over here. We're gonna give them a quick little brush. What we're gonna do, we're gonna drain them. So we're gonna straighten our foil out on this end, and I'm gonna pick these up here like a little pouch, and I'm just gonna drain them into the trash can right here behind me, y'all. Now, nice little tip here, y'all, is you can take this foil, fold it over. Waylon Reed taught me this deal. And y'all see Waylon, if you know him, call him. Tell him glad he got over the COVID. So we're gonna do that. Now then, I wanna flop these over. Woo, look at that color, y'all. And all I'm doing here, y'all, is just making a little boat that I can hold on to these ribs. I can manage them. Because these are probably a hair overcooked in the 5 hours. So now we've got the Lambert combo. We're going to give them a nice brush. Not too much. We want a good even coat. And there's our ribs. So, one more time. Coming in here. On this one, we've got some disintegration over here. And on this end we don't. This one's actually cooked a little better. Maybe still a hair over. So, fold these up around, pull the foil out here to like a funnel on the end, and drain them in the trash can out that end right there. Now you're gonna make, well, best thing to do is flip them over first, y'all. It's the easiest way to do it. And then we're going to take and fold our foil over. We're going to fold it in. Waylon does this a lot better than I do, y'all, I'll be honest with you. All we're doing is making a little aluminum foil boat so that we can manage these with, and we can take them on and off the smoker with. So I'm just going to give these a nice paint. And we're going to put them back on the cooker just for a minute to let this sauce set up and tack up. Here's our spare ribs, guys. So this one is cooked a little better. As you can see, I've got disintegration of membrane over here, so my bones are showing through. I've got 3 bones showing over here. One is started here and one is started right here. The way I really like it is I like to have 3 on one side and at least 1 on the other side to know that my temperature is right. Temperature wise, yeah, it's probably 208, 209, somewhere in there. But all we're going to do here, y'all, is we're going to come through here and give them a little coat of sauce, stretch out that end, and we're going to drain these into the trash can. Then we're going to make our little boat. Remember, flip first. Going back to the center. Make our little boat. Now we got them in the red box, so there's not a lot of extra room. We're going to bring them up pretty tight. When I got those last ones over there, I realized that I was making up extra room that I didn't have. There's not a lot of extra room in that red box. So make sure that your boat's nice and tight. We're going to put a little Lambo combo on them. The only extra thing I think they're going to need is possibly, I don't know, just a touch of salt right at the end, maybe, just to offset this really sweet sauce. So I'm going to drain these off first this time. That way you can see a little better. And you can see I've got 1, 2, 3 bones showing over here and just starting to disintegrate right here. You can kind of feel these bones, and I can see that the meat's really loose around those bones right there. So we're going to flip them back over. First, combo. Then we're going to give them a flip. Slide them back to the center. Beautiful color. Fold them in tight. Remember, not a lot of extra space. And then just kind of fold your edges over. Fold it up to make you a good handle. Don't take up any extra space. And there we have it. We got to glaze the top of these with a little Lambo combo. If you've never had Lambo combo, well, first place sauce, Memphis in May, grand champion America at at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. You know, first place ribs at the American Royal 2017. This speaks for itself. Good results. These are going back on the cooker. Right now, these are going to go on the bottom rack of the red box. Here's my rack. So when you get them on there, situate them nice and close together, and make sure that they're not sticking over too much on the ends because you don't have any extra room, remember. All right, back on the cooker. 6 slabs of ribs on the red box smoker. 4 hours and 45 minutes to done. Another 15 minutes to glaze. And we have got some beautiful ribs. Look at that. Gorgeous ribs. It was a 3 hour, and then roughly about another hour, 15 minutes or so, but 3 hours to wrap. And then they were done before you know it. Okay, next time somebody asks you, how many slabs of ribs can you cook on a red box? You tell them 6, and you saw it on Sweet Swine of Mine's YouTube page. There they are. 10 bones, beautiful baby back ribs. 10 bones, beautiful St. Louis spare ribs. These are perfect, pull apart, tender. Let's just see about them. I ain't gonna tell you the competition ribs, maybe a IBCA, something along those lines. ton. The only thing that make them pop a little more, and for an eat rib, you don't have to do it. A little salt. But for an eating rib, that's it right there. You can eat 3 or 4 bones, 5 bones of that, and it won't blow your palate out. So 6 slabs of ribs on the red box smoker. We cooked them at 275. We showed you we'd used a full chimney of B&B char logs. After about 2.5 hours, I shoved in about 6 more char logs, and it held 275 all the way through. So these turned out perfect, right at 5 hours. Try them out. Try your red box smoker. Subscribe to Sweet Swine Distributing on YouTube. God bless you. Peace out.